this perfect figure in my mind that was coming to take me shopping or just to be there. I mean, as I got older, I started to understand that there is nobody.
What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of Life with Dook and I. As you see, we're back at the table today to talk about some things related to fatherhood.
Yep.
So I kind of get to interview Dwayne today about his experiences. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
So you are a father,
Yep.
husband, brother, uncle, stepdad. You play so many important roles in different ways, and I think I've always been proud of you because you've been able to play so many roles and didn't have a father figure in your life or a male role model in your life that was like consistent or there for you.
Well, I appreciate that. It wasn't easy, but I think even now I'm still growing and learning every day. Just even being a good dad, even being a man in general, still learning. I mean, I didn't have anyone to teach me, the ups and downs of manhood. I mean, you're gonna go through a lot of different things in life, and you do need, as a man, you need that for sure. But man, not necessarily needed, but I feel like I've accomplished a lot and came a long way just to be the man I am today without having a dad. You know what I mean? Or even a male figure. I was raised by 4 women, and my grandma being, the one who was there, when my mom went to prison. So, I grew up always with women telling me that I'm the man of the family because I'm the oldest boy.
Wow.
And it was tough. I mean, you got to understand that I've heard this my whole life. You're the man of the family. You're the man. But I never knew how to be. It's a lot of weight because it's something that you just can't just up and just do. I can up and play football, but I can't up and just learn how to be this figure, not just to myself, but to, all the kids in my family, just being the oldest and, them putting that title on us. It was definitely, a lot to carry.
Okay, so pressure. Let's talk about that. Let's start at the beginning. So being told that you're the man of the family before you knew how to be a man, didn't really have that experience of seeing a man doing it in your household in the day-to-day life as a child. So you're picking up something that you don't typically see.
Sure.
How was that as a child, just not having that but trying to be it? So trying to be a man at such a young age.
I mean, honestly, it was hard because we have cousins in our family, but really not. I don't have any uncles, or my grandma doesn't even have any brothers. So it's really just a family based around women. It's more, I believe it is more women than men. It was tough, definitely, because I've honestly I've never seen it. Just none of my family are married, and the guys that they were with, I mean, I would never role model myself after them, like use them as a crutch to learn how to be a man.
Anything else that you were around?
Yeah, I mean, the boyfriends, that come and go. I just, and I mean, you see so much from them. Now I know, like, yeah, you might have had a little bit of cash, but didn't make you a man. You know what I mean? I mean, they didn't treat the women the way I know how, and I see on a daily, even, my boys treating my wife and, a certain way. And even, seeing how her father is and her uncles, I just didn't have it. So, I mean, it was just tough in general.
You've shared some experiences when you were a young boy, um, having friends that had fathers, and just what that felt like. And you shared something with me a while back that touched me kind of, about how you would pretend like you had a dad coming to pick you up or something to that effect. Can you talk about that?
To that effect, I mean, I really had this. I mean, mind you, my brothers and sisters, they all have fathers that they know. I'm the only one who honestly don't. I don't. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you anything, from, where my blood starts. And so I had this perception in my mind as a kid that there was this guy, this perfect figure in my mind that was coming to take me shopping or just to be there. I mean, as I got older, uh, I started to understand that there is nobody. Now at 32, it's like I don't need it. I mean,
You
um,
don't need a father, or you are proud of how far you've come without that?
man, I don't need one. I mean, I've came so far that the stories and the wanting and the wishing and the hoping and the crying, I've had enough, and that's why I love my kids so much. I mean, it goes.
So, growing up, having
Excuse me.
to, it's okay, having to pretend at times, or feeling like you needed to pretend, or just, having, kids have imaginary friends, an imaginary dad. How did that impact, like, the friendships that you had, or the things you had with people who had those things? Did you ever feel envious? Did you ever feel like, I just wish I had that? Did it stop you from being, making relationships with certain people? Like, what was that like?
Uh, nah. I mean, I was never envious. I mean, I had some close friends growing up that had some cool ass dad. You know, so I never felt like, oh well, I don't like that person because they got this and I don't. Shit, man. Most of my friends' parents who did have a father, they embraced me too. You know what I'm saying? One of my friends I played football with for a long time, um, Larry, man, Struthers. His dad was, man, would just
Bad for you?
nah. He would just boost my confidence. Just always, man. You just need to work harder because he's seen. You just seen the potential. Yeah, definitely. He was more of like a father figure. Spend a night at his house to get ready for our games. He just helped just boost my confidence, and that was one of the people that I saw who had a father that was actually a father. You know what I mean? Larry's dad was, pushed his boys to be, just good people, just a good person, a person to sit back and talk to, laugh with, have So I never felt envious of the people that I have it. I got one of my best friends. I mean, we share some of the similar things. I mean, mind you, he knows his father, but you know, we didn't have him. Just period. You know what I mean? my situation a little bit different because I have literally no clue. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about that. You are named after someone that you don't know,
Yep.
that you've not met,
Yep.
that lives right here in Denver, Colorado.
Yep. 32 years.
Yep.
Never seen the man in my life.
So, this is gonna get a little touchy, but you have now had a son. We had a son a year ago, and you named him after you.
Right.
As your junior, and changed your name to Dwayne Senior.
Yep.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel like, what am I doing? Do I name this kid after me? Is this name still connected to this other person? Like, what are your thoughts behind that?
When I changed my name to Senior, I completely let go of that person. You know, I mean, mind you, if something or somehow we connected and, you know, our situation changed, I mean, I don't think I would change that I'm a senior. I would never go back to being a junior. I just don't see why I would.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this man lived, if he is my father, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who knows?
When I hear
don't
about
know.
your childhood, it makes me smile to know that you did have a mentor, Kevin, and he played a pretty big role in your life in what high school? Tell me more about that and how important that was for you.
Oh man, Kevin was around from I think when I turned 10, 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he definitely was a big role model for me because, you know, even, you know, whatever was going on at home, I was always able to just escape with him, you know, go hang out, just different things that I never would thought of doing. I mean, I went to multiple hikes, Air Force Academy graduation, just a lot of different things.
You were in his wedding, right?
Yeah. One of his groomsmen in his wedding, next to his brother. I mean, yeah, Kevin definitely played a big role while I was young. I mean, just helped me be grounded. Just someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who, you know, even understood my situation. Never try to be my dad, but more try to just fill that role of just the advice, the help, you know, the guidance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at what age did you feel like you were really like, I need a dad, or I wish I had a dad? Like, was there a specific age where you felt the most touched? Like, was it when you started football in Little League and you started to see people with their fathers, or was it as far back as you can remember?
Really, as far back as I can remember, to just really not have one. I just wanted that my whole life. I definitely, up until maybe, I want to say a couple years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I really just let go of that want, that void, that, you know, because I know that the older I get, the more irrelevant it is that I have my own opportunity to be a great dad to 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? So
we've talked about childhood. Let's keep moving forward. So you had a child right after graduating high school. And I believe in trauma bonds. I think that we sometimes connect with people when you have something in common with them. Do you feel like not having a father played a role in why you had a child so young, or do you feel like that would have made a difference? Do you feel like that made a difference, even regarding who you had a child with? Do you feel like all that's connected in some way, or do you feel like it's totally separate?
I think it can go both ways. I mean, if I would have had one, I would have had more guidance and more just that, you know, those man-to-man talks, those, you know, those voices that my mom and my grandma, you know, just couldn't feel. You know, I wouldn't have had a
Not
kid.
because they're not great either, but because they're women and it's hard to raise a man. you know?
Right. I mean, they know that. I mean, they did their best with all four of us. You know what I mean? Well, it's five of us. It's my fault, but definitely they definitely. I mean, they did their part on what they could.
So another way that I personally have seen this impact you is that when Isaiah was younger, he would ask, "If I don't have a grandfather, where's my dad's dad?" You know, he would ask me things like that, and then I would, of course, encourage him to talk to you. And here we are, 11 years later, and now we have a 5-year-old daughter who Callie has questioned. She's always like, "Where's your dad? Why doesn't my dad have a dad?" What has that been like to answer those questions?
Talking to Isaiah about it because it was in the time frame of where I actually felt like I cared, or those I would still get like down. I mean, now I'm able to own up to it and be able to speak to Callie. I've had. I mean, she's still young, so she really don't know yet. What I'm saying, but I mean, it did hurt me because it was like, shit, man, I really can't even give you a honest answer because I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing I can do is I can be better. You know what I'm saying? And just being here. I've never turned my back on my kids, no matter the situation. I mean, I could have, but I just don't think that's the right thing to do.
And it's no secret, but I think you've had a pretty interesting situation. You have joint custody of your son where you have equal responsibilities. We have a week-to-week schedule with him right now where, you are very involved and active in his life. And so I'm proud of you for that because a lot of men do not take those steps. They rather would talk about how difficult it is and lean on that as to why they're not active. So I'm proud of you for that. And just keep doing what you're doing when it comes to that because you are definitely a good example. Anyone who knows you personally knows that you have not turned your back and you've just been a really great dad all around. So my next question for you is, we kind of touched on this, but now that you've moved on from not having a father and you are named after someone, but you've changed your name, if you found out that person was not your father, would you change your name? Or have you completely moved into a new, just like, this is who I am now. It's not connected to that person.
Honestly, me and my son Junior, we've established, that this is our name. You know what I'm saying? I have no ties with this person. I mean, like we said, he lives here. I mean, if he really felt some type of way, we can definitely reach out. I mean, his family does all the time. You know what I'm saying? But
so, just for people watching, though, it's good to give more details. He's aware of you.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
we've reached out, right, with no response.
And we work for the same company.
Yeah. So that's just interesting. But you're doing the best you can to not be affected. So anyway, go ahead. So you wouldn't change your name. You've established your own identity under that name.
I'm definitely senior and Junior's junior.
As a 24-year-old girl about to get married to somebody, I can't say I wasn't worried. I was like, I'm about to take on this man's last name, and he don't even know who he is. It impacts everything when you don't have a dad. I mean, you don't know your genetics, history. You don't know your risks, which impacts us and our children. Like, doctors ask things about your side of the family, and on your paternal side, and we don't have any answers. So for me, it was definitely something I was a little fearful about, or not even fearful, but just, I had some worries about it because I am really connected to my dad and my side of the family, and I have all my family history. So it's been a learning journey for me too.
Robinson is our last name until,
forever.
Maybe. But as of now, we definitely, we built this from the ground up. Everything. All of us. My stepson ain't a Robinson, but he falls under the same category as us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I respect his dad's last name, but I mean, he's part of us. Period.
Yeah, we're building a legacy for sure. So what would you say to dads who are in your situation where they have kids who ask about, you know, where's my grandfather? How come you don't have a dad? Like, now that you are at a better place, you know, at 32, about to be 33 years old, you're in a place where you're feeling better about it. How do you answer it in a way that protects them, but you're honest and real about it?
It's a good one. Honestly, really just telling them what it is. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, I tell my kids it doesn't even matter because we are who we are right now. We gonna build this. You just be great and make sure you carry on our last name, so that way, from years on, you know, we got the Robinsons. We established that. I mean, we can't really. I don't like to dwell on things. That's one thing that I don't do. I mean, I move straightforward. I mean, and I'll tell my kids, you know, we don't know him. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing nobody can do. Let's just, you know, be happy, live, have a full life, and enjoy what we do know, and accept what happens from here on out.
I think being real with the kids has also helped the boys to really think twice about their situations. Like, I've heard both of them say things like, I want to make sure I'm here for my kids, or I don't want to have a baby until I'm married. Like, they say things like that, and I think that comes from you talking to them and then them knowing what it's like to be an adult without a dad, seeing you go through it. So they think twice based on what they see and what you talk to them about. So that's good.
I prefer him to. I mean, you just be a great father whenever you become a father, because it's just time to man up. Everybody make a mistake in life, and just make sure you make sure your mistakes are, you know, the ones that, you know, you can handle. You know, don't go out here having no kids with just these randoms. You don't want that situation. You know, we see it too often, and then you be stuck with a situation like me. You know what I'm saying? You just, it impacts life from here on out. You know.
Yeah, I agree. So what about events like football games or like donuts with dad? I don't know if those were existed when we grew up, but are there things you can think about or times you can think about that really stood out where you were like, damn, I do not have a dad and this sucks?
Honestly, it was more, I mean, I would just wish for it, no matter what the situation was. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted it because I seen it. Not just, you know, as growing up. We grew up in the 90s where, you know, on TV, that's what you see. You see the perfect father. You know, you got, I mean, Bill Cosby, he is what he is. But in the movie, in the shows, you see this perfect father. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got Family Matters with Urkel, Full Houses, whatever show you can possibly think of, there's always a man. You know what I'm saying? And then you got, you know, I watched a lot of football and basketball as a kid. You see these guys buying their dads and parents new cars and new houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it definitely sucked, you know, because even the teams that I played on, 9 times out of 10, the coach's kid played on the team. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like, damn, that sucks. You know, this dude's not even good, but he's going to play because his dad is the coach.
Yeah.
I wish my dad was the coach, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't the best player when I started out, but, I mean, once I got older, I established who I was. You know, my identity is, you know, from me.
I'm going to just throw in there that you've always been that way to me. With or without people, it could be friends, father, whatever. You have made your own path and you do your own thing. You don't follow anybody. Like, you can't really be swayed unless it's logical. So I think that's cool about you. So I can only imagine you as a kid. When I see people, they talk about, you know, you as an athlete all the time, and just thinking that you were able to do that successfully without a father through childhood that's a big deal. So
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of kids out here without dads. You know, if I can be a role model to them as well as my own kids, I mean, I will. You know what I'm saying? One day I'll start coaching. Um, I'll give back. You know, I'm in a way better place than I've ever been.
we'll talk about that too. We've had a journey.
Ever. But anyways, I'm just I'm open and willing to talk to anybody about it, whether it's a kid or a grown man, because we could, even as a black man, we don't acknowledge that this is mental health. Like it helps when you can talk to someone. I mean, I didn't have nobody to talk to, even friends. You know what I mean? I mean, to make up, my imaginary friend be this man that doesn't even exist, or I don't even know anything about.
Yeah.
For real, it's emotional because I cried so much as a kid.
As an adult too, we've had rough moments,
Sure.
and I'm so glad you touched on mental health because it's BIPOC Awareness Month for mental health, and I just think in the Black community in general, mental health is not something that's been something we talk about or push people to. Like, I remember growing up and, being sad or anything, and my grandmas and aunts are pray about it, talk to Jesus. It was never like, get help. So this topic, I think, is like not having a father or even a mother, just being a child that's missing a parent or parents in general, can probably, I'm sure it does cause a lot of mental health issues. So
sure.
It's good to get help. It's okay. Would you recommend that Black men talk to a therapist?
Oh, for sure. I mean, a lot of people frown down upon it. Oh, that's not gonna help. That ain't. I mean, you don't know until you tried it.
You've said that before.
I mean, I did, but you don't even gotta be a therapist. A therapist, it can be anybody that you can trust with, something that may be sensitive to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that we get caught up into is, we're supposed to just be hard all the time when that's not true. I mean, we've been through so much in life. I don't care if you didn't have a dad, you might not have a mom. I mean,
or you may have a dad who's a toxic dad. Like,
sure.
I believe in that too. So you still need to talk to someone.
Whoever it is. I mean, I feel like you should get up, call somebody, talk about it. I mean, because it does help. You know what I mean? I've had I went through a lot as a youth without a dad. My mom went to prison. That changed me for sure. The whole dad thing. I think that if my mom was there at some of the times that when I needed her, I would have been a different man in general. I wouldn't have been so caught up on this imaginary guy. You know what I mean? I mean, mind you, my mom's been through a lot, but she's definitely in a better place than she's ever been. And I'm not saying that my mom did anything wrong, because we all have a past.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you do to make things better for right now.
Mm-hmm. Just as your wife, I feel like I know you right now better than a lot of people, and I can say you definitely are on your way to complete healing. I don't know if you ever heal completely from missing those types of voids in your life, but you're not as angry. Well, I am so proud of you because I see you doing the work to heal. I see you being more open to talk about it. So, as we were dating, okay, we started as, cuddy buddies, got more serious, introduced you to my dad. I believe you even asked him about getting more serious with me over dinner. But how was that to start getting serious with a woman who is close to her dad or who is pretty involved in her life? Was that hard for you or different for you, or was that just...
I guess it was different. I mean, Jeff, he's pretty cool. One of the people that's actually became my, a role model, a person I can call. I'm pretty sure he'll, literally, I call him at 3 a.m., he gonna answer the phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's real.
you know, our I've worked with him for 5 years. Um, it was different in the beginning, though. It was definitely beginning because I I wasn't dating to meet people's parents or anything like that. So it was definitely different. You know, I actually asked him to marry her. It wasn't, you know, oh, I'm about to just go get married. We're gonna get married. You know, I respect her dad. You know what I'm saying? We actually have a cool bond, me and her dad. But it was different.
Yeah.
It was definitely different. It was something that, I mean, to all the young people out there, I mean, you should, and they do have a person you want to, you know, commit to, does have a father. You definitely should get to know them, or even, you know, reach out. I mean, you never know. That person can fill a void that you need filled. You know what I'm saying? Because Jeff's not just my father-in-law. You know, I call him dad too. You know, because he does for me as he would for his own kids. You know what I'm saying?
So what would your advice be to any person who is dating or married to someone without a father, and how they can be supportive through that process?
Talk to him. Try to understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the whole thing about marriage is, you know, we're two totally different people, and to come together to understand your partner just makes the communication even better. You got to be able to understand what one person has been through to know where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely will pay off. Just talk. I mean, if a person ain't ready to talk, just always be there and let them know. Like, hey, man, I'm still here. I know it's a hard situation because I mean, I still get tearful to this day about that not having a dad. Would have been a different person if I would have had a dad, like a totally different person. So, I mean, definitely go out and just, I mean, talk, just try, open up.
Well, thank you for being open, for talking about it. I know this is heavy stuff. I look at you every single day, and I appreciate all that you do and that you're here. I look at my kids, and I'm like, I don't know what they would do without him. So I know how important it is to have a father and be a father, and I just want to tell you over and over again that you're doing such a great job.
Thank you.
It's never have really had or have seen you've stepped up, and you do not let us down in any way. All right. Thank you, babe.
Yeah, but y'all know what to do. Go hit that like button, subscribe. Life with Dook and Die. We're back at y'all. And again, man, speaking about things that's going on in your head is definitely mental health. Just go speak to somebody. You can speak to us, talk to us. I know y'all can speak to this one. She's pretty dope. She gives good answers. I mean, you can definitely hit me up if you know you can't reach her. But again, subscribe, like Life with Dook and Die. Check us out. Mental health, man. Mental health. Go talk to somebody if you need some help.